The agony of the spinning wheel. We've all been there. You're trying to get work done, or maybe you're in the middle of an epic gaming session. Suddenly your PC slows to a crawl. The dreaded spinning wheel of doom appears. Ugh, the frustration. It's so tempting to just throw money at the problem and buy a whole new rig. But hold on, before you break the bank, there are a bunch of things you can do to squeeze more performance out of your existing hardware. Think of it like this. Your PC is like a car. Over time, it gets bogged down with unnecessary stuff. It's like your car slowly filling up with junk until it can barely move. But don't worry, I'm here to help you turn that clunker back into a lean, mean performance machine. Let's dive in. First things first, let's identify the culprits. Open your task manager and see what's hogging all those precious resources. Uninstall any programs you don't need. You'd be surprised how much bloatware can slow you down. Next, run a disk cleanup. This will get rid of temporary files and other junk that's cluttering up your system. If you're using a traditional hard drive, defragment it. This can help speed up access times. Speaking of drives, consider upgrading to an SSD if you haven't already. It's one of the best upgrades you can make for overall system performance. Adding more RAM can also make a big difference, especially if you multitask a lot. Don't forget to keep your software and drivers up to date. Outdated software can cause all sorts of issues. Adjust your power settings for better performance. Sometimes your computer might be set to a power-saving mode that's slowing it down. And finally, give your PC a good physical cleaning. Dust can cause overheating, which in turn can throttle your performance. Follow these steps, and you'll be amazed at how much better your PC performs. No more spinning wheel of doom. Let's get to work and make your computer run like new again. Update everything. First things first. Make sure your software is up to date. I'm talking about your operating system, drivers, games, everything. Think of updates like oil changes for your computer. They keep things running smoothly. Outdated software can cause all sorts of problems, from slow performance to security vulnerabilities. Luckily, updating is usually as easy as clicking a few buttons. Windows users, head to Windows Update. Gamers, make sure your graphics drivers are current. Trust me, this simple step can make a world of difference. Clear out the cobwebs. Remember all that junk in the car analogy? Yeah, your computer collects digital junk too. It's called cache and temporary files, and they build up over time, clogging up your system. Imagine trying to find something in a super messy room. It takes forever. Cleaning out your cache and temporary files is like giving your computer a clean workspace. You can usually do this through your browser settings or by using a dedicated cleaning tool. Don't worry, it's safe and easy. Fine-tune your system. Windows is packed with customization options, but some of them can slow your PC down. It's time to fine-tune your system settings. For example, those fancy visual effects might look cool, but they eat up resources. Turning them off can give your PC a noticeable speed boost. You can also adjust your power settings for better performance. If you're not plugged in, consider switching to a power-saving mode. Lighten the load. Do you really need a million programs running in the background? Probably not. All those programs gobble up RAM and CPU power, even when you're not actively using them. Take a look at your system tray. That's the little area in the bottom right corner of your screen. See any programs you don't recognize or need? Right-click and close them. You can also disable startup programs to prevent them from launching automatically when you turn on your PC. Less clutter, more speed. The power of the startup. Speaking of startup programs, let's talk about how they can impact your PC's boot time. These programs are the applications that automatically run when you start your computer. While some are essential, many are not, and they can significantly slow down your system's performance. Remember that feeling of dread when you hit the power button and then have to wait an eternity for your computer to start up? It's like watching paint dry, and it can be incredibly frustrating, especially when you have important work to do or just want to get online quickly. Yeah, startup programs are often the culprit. These programs can include anything from chat applications to cloud storage services, and even some that you might not recognize. They all compete for your computer's resources right from the get-go. They're like a bunch of people trying to squeeze through a door at the same time. It's chaos. Imagine trying to get through a crowded entrance. It slows everyone down. The same thing happens with your computer. By limiting the number of programs that launch at startup, you're essentially creating a more orderly queue. This means fewer programs are fighting for resources, allowing your computer to boot up more efficiently. This means your computer can focus on getting the essential stuff loaded first, leading to a faster boot time. You'll notice a significant improvement in how quickly your desktop appears and how soon you can start using your applications. You can usually manage startup programs through your operating system settings or by using a dedicated utility. For example, in Windows, you can go to the Task Manager and navigate to the Startup tab. Here you can see a list of all the programs that start with your computer and disable the ones you don't need. If you're using a Mac, you can go to System Preferences, then Users and Groups, and click on the Login Items tab. From there, you can manage which programs start when you log in. There are also third-party utilities available that can help you manage startup programs more effectively. These tools often provide more detailed information and additional features that can make the process even easier. So, take control of your startup programs today and enjoy a faster, more efficient computing experience. It's a simple change that can make a big difference in your daily routine. Defrag your drive. If your computer's hard drive is like a filing cabinet, then defragging is like organizing all the files neatly. Over time, files on your hard drive can become fragmented, meaning they're scattered all over the place. This makes it harder for your computer to find and access them, which can slow things down. Defragging your hard drive rearranges the files, making it easier for your computer to read them. It's like going from a cluttered mess to a well-organized system. Most modern operating systems do this automatically, but it's still a good idea to check and make sure it's enabled. The graphics card bottleneck. Gamers, listen up! If you're passionate about gaming, you know how crucial a good graphics card is for an immersive experience. If you're trying to run the latest and greatest games on an older PC, your graphics card might be holding you back. This can be incredibly frustrating, especially when you're in the middle of an intense gaming session and your frame rates drop. It's like trying to run a marathon with one shoe. You wouldn't expect to perform well, and the same goes for your gaming experience. While you can't magically upgrade your graphics card without, well, actually upgrading it, there are a few things you can do to ease the burden. Upgrading your graphics card can be expensive, but there are some cost-effective measures you can take in the meantime. First, make sure you're running the game at optimal settings. Lowering the resolution can significantly improve performance without drastically affecting your gaming experience. Turning off fancy graphical effects like shadows, reflections, and anti-aliasing can also help. These settings can be resource-intensive, and turning them off can free up valuable processing power. This can make a big difference in how smoothly your game runs. You might be surprised at how much better your game performs with just a few tweaks. You can also try overclocking your graphics card, but be careful. Overclocking can push your hardware beyond its factory settings, giving you a performance boost. However, this can void your warranty if done incorrectly. Always make sure to do thorough research and follow guidelines to avoid damaging your hardware. Overclocking can be a double-edged sword, offering more power but also more risk. Another tip is to keep your PC clean. Dust and debris can accumulate inside your computer, causing it to overheat and perform poorly. Regularly cleaning your PC can help maintain optimal performance. Applying fresh thermal paste to your CPU and GPU can also help with cooling, ensuring that your components run efficiently. Lastly, make sure your drivers are up to date. Manufacturers often release updates that can improve performance and fix bugs. Keeping your drivers current can make a noticeable difference in your gaming experience. By following these tips, you can alleviate some of the strain on your graphics card and enjoy a smoother gaming experience even on an older PC. Happy gaming! Check your cooling. Heat is the enemy of performance. If your computer is constantly overheating, it's going to throttle its performance to avoid damage. It's like trying to run a marathon in a snowsuit. Make sure your computer has adequate airflow, clean out any dust bunnies lurking in the vents, and consider adding more fans if needed. You can also invest in a cooling pad for your laptop. A cool computer is a happy and fast computer. Reinstall your operating system. This is the nuclear option, but it can be surprisingly effective. Over time, your operating system can become cluttered with leftover files, registry errors, and other digital baggage. It's like giving your computer a fresh start in life. Before you do this, make sure you back up all your important data. You can usually find instructions on how to reinstall your operating system on the manufacturer's website. It might sound daunting, but it's not as hard as you think. Unleash the hidden power. There you have it, a whole bunch of tips and tricks to boost your PC's performance without spending a dime on new hardware. Now go forth and unleash the hidden power of your machine. Remember, a little maintenance goes a long way. By following these tips, you can keep your PC running smoothly for years to come. And hey, if all else fails, you can always upgrade your hardware. But at least you'll know, you squeezed every last drop of performance out of your old rig.